going to draw and take my passion and make a living, and then actually successfully going out in the world and doing it. And you being a writer, I have absolutely no idea anything that any of you know how to do. I write words, and then I ask other people who have talents to do it. So, my question is, and I'll have my question to some of you all can jump in as you see fit. How did you kind of make the transition from, obviously you're young and you're talented, you know that you can draw things that look like an approximation of what you're trying to draw. How did you get from there to your first opportunity? And so I'll just start with you.
Oh God. I'm a fraud and I con everyone. Honestly, I feel like that's a feeling that will never leave any of us creative professionals, but the truth is that it's kind of a long journey, and I can start on a long way, but I'll try to give you the shorter direction. Is I was a real sick little kid, and I didn't get out to play that much, so I got to sit at home and draw. So I turned that into a career. I went through school with like a lot of resistance from teachers and professionals. They're like, drawing, they'll never get you anywhere. Why don't you get a real job? Why don't you go into computer science or something else? My family they're all scientists or engineers, so they're a little bit like, well, it's nice, honey. But I have a tremendous respect for science and engineering as well as art. And for a long time, I was a little bit kind of torn between actually doing the art thing. So it all kind of snowballed when my work was good enough to get me some scholarships to college. And I got into a lot of schools, and I kind of like totaled the number together, and I like called one of the one I really wanted to get into up, and I was like, hey, I've been offered this amount of money, but it was really just like the total number of everything. And they said, oh, well, someone else offered you that amount of money? Okay, well, we'll counter offer a scholarship for that amount of money. And then I got to go to school. I was like, oh my God, I did it. And then they're going to find out and they're going to think I'm a total fraud. So it was fine. I went to school. I went on scholarship, and I worked through school. And I somehow, there was another local game developer doing like an open house when I was in college. So I went, I didn't have anything prepared because I just had my sketchbook with me. I found out the day of. And I got there, and my work was good enough that they offered me an internship. And I said, well, I can't do an internship unless it's a paid internship. And they were like, okay, we'll pay you then. And I was like, oh God, I'm good at negotiating, I guess. It was terrifying. So I worked internship in between classes, but my school didn't want me to do an internship until senior year, so they wouldn't give me any time or class credit for doing it. So I did it like, I arranged my schedule so I did it on my days off, but according to the school, I didn't actually have the days off. So I had all of the work on top of the internship. So then, senior year of college, I injured my hand horribly from overworking it, and then I graduated into the biggest recession of the biggest recession of the past several years. And I thought, well, I better hang on to this internship for dear life. And so I just kind of strapped a pencil to my hand and kept going. And they did hire me out of college because I was doing so well in the internship. And then I took a vacation. It was really getting surgery because I had injured my hand so bad. And then that company collapsed. So I went to work for another company that then promptly collapsed. And then I went to work for another company that also collapsed. And then I finally got to Firaxis. So those.
I mean, Firaxis is like, you know, we say it, but it's like, Firaxis sits up there, and it's like, for anybody who's ever played Civilization, it's kind of like, I've lost like relationships and friendships behind like, oh, I'll just play Civilization for another 3 hours, discover paper, and then be done with it. So when you got into, you know, doing art, I mean, what was your original dream in regards to what you were going to be doing in your career? Was it game design, or was it illustration, was it comic book art, or was it something else?
I wanted to draw cool monsters. There wasn't a lot of deep thought like our previous presenter. I didn't have anything profound to say to the world. I just really wanted to work on the skill and be able to articulate myself in this visual format and things that allow people to experience other worlds. So that's kind of a long version.
What about you, man? I mean, what was your path like in terms of just going from, I guess, the head started with doodling towards?
Well, I drew cool skulls and people getting bashed in the head and barbarians like that. And that was my thing. In high school, I was that kid that drew macabre scenes of, you know, death and skulls. I skated, I played drums, and I drew skull bashings. That's pretty much what I did. And then I graduated out of high school and started going to Nova because I had no idea what I wanted to do. And then I discovered comics with an artist by the name of Jim Lee who blew my mind with X-Men. X-Men 4 was the first comic that really captured my imagination. And I started drawing comics since then. I hounded a local artist who was drawing comic strips at the time. I mean, I hounded the guy. Like, I stalked him basically, eating up the bushes and that sort of thing. Because the thing is, he made the mistake of letting me know that he lived in Sterling, Virginia, right? So I happen to live in Herndon, Virginia, which is like stone's throw away. Literally, like stones out of his window. Hey, let me in, you know, that sort of thing. And so I hounded him, and he finally said, "Okay, man, you can draw." He actually gave me an assignment. He was like, "Okay," and there was actually 5 of us. I wasn't the old stock or Wang. His name is Wang. But yeah, so there was 5 of us, and we all stopped. It was awesome. We all took turns monopolies. And his girlfriend. Anyways, so he gave us all an assignment. He said, "Hey, overnight, I want you guys to draw, you know, a page of a comic book." And we're like, "Overnight? What? Are you crazy?" Yeah, that's right. And he was like, "You can't do it." Yeah, you know, that's right. So I attempted at least, and I did like maybe 2 or 3 panels that night, and turned in. I happened to be the only guy that did it, and so he took me on as his assistant. I ended up drawing like backgrounds of my first book called it was actually his book called Law Dog Grimrod by Marvel. That was probably like my first real like that's how I was cutting my teeth on the comic book circuit. And then I did a 3-page sample and presented it to a bunch of publishers at Chicago Comic Con when I happened to meet Jim Lee, who was like my idol. Wet myself. And so, like, you know, he saw my stuff and he was like, okay. I guess we'll probably, that sort of thing. I was like, you know. But he called me, I guess, like 2 weeks after. And he was like, "Hey, so you don't draw very well." Yes. So I asked him, like, "You want me to draw some skulls?" Draw the crap out of that. But he was like, "Your heroes look a little too evil." Skull. So I practiced drawing heroes, and you know, he gave me like 3 days to send him a new pinup. So I did it, sent it in, and you know, he basically filled me out, and I lived in San Diego for like a year as an intern slash staff artist guy. Did that for a year, and then you know, I left, and then started, you know, going on my own. And, yeah. So that was pretty much the beginning of my career as a comic book artist, which is that. And I started working for Marvel because having worked at the gym, it's pretty easy to get any other assignment. I mean, I suck. I mean, I'm horrible. Like, I don't, like, my drawing ability isn't there. But because I used to work for Jim Lee, I was like, yeah, somebody had your cookies. So yeah, that's pretty much how I started.
So I guess my story is a little bit different. Like I guess, well, like you guys have been drawing since I was probably about 4 years old. I was really taken in by Superman, like the cartoons, the movies, like all of it. It really just like got my mind going, and so I kind of knew at an early age that I wanted to get into comics. Then when I was 18, right after my first year of college, I wasn't doing any art stuff in college. I was just kind of playing football and not like going to class and stuff like that. So after that first year, I actually got a job at Six Flags, the one in Mitchellville, doing caricatures. And so I just kind of happened into this job. And you know, it was really cool. It was my first time doing art professionally. And it really kind of taught me like what it takes to sell art. And you know, like I remember the very first day that I worked in the park, there were 20,000 people there, and I remember like my hand was shaking like the first time that I did a sketch. And you know, I did it and I sold it, and it was just like incredible. Like, oh man, they just bought this. And back then I was horrible. Like I thought I was great, but I was horrible. And you know, they bought it. It's just like this incredible feeling that somebody will take something that you created and then give you money in exchange for it. So I worked at Six Flags for like maybe 6 years. I ended up managing all the art operations at the park. And while I was there, I actually met a guy who tried to start a studio. And we worked on some stuff together. And that was actually when I first met Pop, because we did a cover for that thing. It was $10.
Oh yeah.
That was you. That's right.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so that was like 100 years ago. And at that point, I met, well, I didn't meet him, and I worked together for years. And then shortly after that venture, we decided that we wanted to create our own studio and really just kind of like make our own comics, because it's like hard to do to like get into the industry, like to have editors actually give you work. There's just like more work than you can imagine to get people to just, you know, like seriously take a look and they give you work. Like it's a whole thing, like really. So we made our own company, and then in that time I met our first studio named Brian Turner. He's out in California doing stuff with Warner Brothers right now. And we really put together a group, and we started doing conventions, and really kind of building our portfolio, building our families, and you know, we started to get work with like Food Studios and IDW. Different things like that, and then, you know, one thing leads to another, and that's really how we got started. That's how we sort of broke in, we sort of forced our way in. Just kicked in the door. Yeah. Mr. Norris.
Well, I was drawing like Disney princesses mostly when I was a kid, because that's what I liked, but my family's kind of, it's that kind of typical, like they don't really want you to do this art stuff because they don't see it as a future or anything like that. So I mean, that was a lot that I had to fight over, and I never really thought that I wanted to be an artist as a career path back then, because I didn't know that it could. And so as I got older, well, he and I met in high school, and once I met him, like, it started to, I don't know, it made sense to actually pursue a career in art, but even at that, like, I still wasn't quite sold on the notion. So, I mean, I started getting into anime in high school, and then after that, when I graduated, like, I started looking at comic books and things like that. So we did comic book conventions, and I started to learn how to, like, really focus my talent in art, draw figures and things like that, because, you know, when you're just starting out in high school, like, you think everything's cool, it's great. So you start to see that once you get into comic conventions and you see that there's actually talented people there, and you're like, oh, I'm not anywhere near this. So I started showing my portfolios to editors and things like that, and that's, like, our story kind of builds there. So we do cons, we show portfolios, and we do a lot of portfolio reviews. So, I mean, if this is like a career path that you think you might want to get into, I definitely would say you have to have a really strong stomach for rejection and showing more stuff and talking to people and stuff like that.
I have one or two things from listening from all of that. One, there seems like there is no one way to get into the industry. And two, nobody's parents ever seem to like anything. My dad didn't want me to go to law school because he said lawyers just write on paper. You don't make anything. Now, I can't draw, so it was like, well, it's either that or trying to write a treatise on, Chaucer's Canterbury Tales. So moving along, let me kind of ask you guys this question. This is like the obligatory like interview question. As in, like, so what did you do wrong? For every successful person I have ever met, without fail, there's some story along the way of how I could have done things different. Because for every creative person I know, there's the creative process as like, maybe you knew how to draw one thing. You knew you should have refined your skill to draw something else, but you didn't. I've met artists who are like, they can draw faces, they can't draw backgrounds. And the big career push for them was the moment they were like, I'm going to take 6 months, and I'm just going to figure out how to do it, so I can try to push my game differently. So I guess for you guys as creative folks working in this field, in this industry, what were the growing pains for your evolution from where you started as a young artist to where you started to feel like professionally you had gotten closer to refining your craft into where you are professionally now?
I don't, so that almost seems like two questions. Like, I don't think that in terms of like my growth as an artist, I don't think I've done anything wrong. I think that the growth never stops.
Okay.
It's not, where I was 10 years ago, it's just like I was 10 years ago.
Okay.
I draw all the time. I'm always drawing, always looking to make it better, so that I like it more, so that other people like it more, so that I can do what whoever I'm working with needs me to do. So it's not so much anything I would have done wrong. If I'm not good at drawing backgrounds, then draw more backgrounds. But that isn't to say that in whatever project that I wouldn't draw backgrounds. It's just you do what you can, and then I guess like in terms of like career doing things wrong. For me, like, it wasn't so much, again, like doing things wrong as much as like, it's just a learning curve. Like, there's so much, like, when you enter, when you decide, okay, so this is what I want to do, like, it's just a matter of what you know versus what you don't know or what you don't know that you don't know. So, like, I can't. Yeah, right? Today, if I want to get work, like, I know how to get it. You know what I mean? Like, I know which shows to go to get a certain type of work. I know what my portfolio needs to look like. I know that I need different portfolios. I didn't know that before, but I know that now. I can't show a portfolio to a comic book publisher and then show that same portfolio to someone who's looking for storyboards and expect that they're going to want to see the same things. Like, that's something that I didn't know before, but through trial and error, I know now.
I've got a fairly simple one. I would not have sacrificed my health for a job. I hurt. if your hand hurts, and go to the doctor. Go to the doctor. Don't do what I did, which was, oh, it'll probably blow over. Let me strap some ice to my hand and keep rolling through these finals. It'll go away. Don't do that. Don't do that. It was a bad decision.
I mean, when I was, like I was saying before, like when I started out, I thought I was drawing really cool stuff, but like especially when you're into anime and things like that, like this is something I found out, but when you're into anime, you start drawing that anime look on everything, and you think it's cool because everything you consume is anime, but what you don't realize is that you're actually not learning anatomy, and you're not learning why these things look the way that they do. So I would say my mistake then was not knowing anatomy and everything that goes underneath, because you start out and you're like, man, I can draw a face and it's fine, eyeballs here, nose, whatever. But if you don't study anatomy, I don't mean like learn all the muscle groups and bones, I'm not saying that, but learning where it is, then you can start to understand why anime looks the way it does, why their eyes are this far away from their nose, from their mouth, that kind of thing. So that was the big thing that I had to unlearn and then relearn and figure out my stuff from there. Because like that's all I consumed back then was anime.
I think for me, it's being really easily discouraged. I mean, I guess as an artist, you try to have that sensitivity issue. But I think my mistake earlier on was not. Someone once explained to me the easiest this way is that if you look at the timeline of art, right? Like on one end of the spectrum is stick figure, on the other end is anime. We all travel the same exact path. It doesn't matter how much talent you have or how much learning you've done, because everyone travels the same path, right? So if you have a lot of talent and start here, then you're on the same path. So don't be discouraged, like if you have like no talent or anything like that. I mean, I started like here, So it took me a long time to get to where I am now, but it's still, it's the same path. And I think that, I used to like run the crap out of Jim Lee all the time. I was like, dude, why are you hiring me? Seriously. And that's like the worst thing you'd ever say to someone who hired you. Dude, seriously, what is wrong with you? Why did you hire me? And I would literally ask him that. And he always used to say, like, he's like, do you think I shouldn't have hired you? And I would say, I don't know. I want to say that I'm really good, but I know that I'm not. But then he's just like, look, you're like being robotic. Stop. Go back there and just draw. You're gonna learn. You're gonna learn how to draw faces. You're gonna learn that backgrounds are important. Because all these things it's all nuggets of knowledge that you're going to acquire on this path. Does that make sense? So in that way, don't get discouraged if you're not Michelangelo. Okay, because you'll make it there eventually as long as you keep traveling down the road. So yeah, don't be discouraged.
I have to agree really strongly with that. Is that kind of the Herod Tortoise parable of like. Sure, you can be really talented and you can just naturally get things really great, but to be honest, the person who's going to win is the person who sits down every day and practices and just puts in the time and puts in the work. Like, even if there's a big gulf in talent there, if the person just puts in the study, it's going to actually really show, and they're going to surpass anyone who's naturally quote-unquote inclined.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing though, like if you want to pursue art, you just gotta make it. Like it really boils down to like how much do you want it and what are you willing to do to make it happen.
Like stalk somebody.
Yeah.
Don't hurt yourself stalking someone. Yeah, that's not
because Pete has definitely gotten tired of me like dominating conversation. Pete,
Since you did talk about, some of the lessons you've learned and really how you came up in your careers, was there any advice that affected you and advice that you got from others that you repeat today, that you pass on to other people, things that were just big milestone moments or pieces of advice that you realized changed you and you want to pass it on to other people?
Mine that comes to mind first is this guy named Cheeks. Galileo, big deal, I guess. He's a super dope artist and he does a lot of animation stuff and he does comic book stuff. But he was talking to us and he got an advice from somebody else and he was saying it to us and he said that if you work hard, because if you don't work hard, what is it, I'll take your job if you're not working hard enough for it. Yeah. Don't slack off if somebody's always there trying to get your job.
It's live your dream or someone else will live their dream. Or live your dream.
It's something like that. He didn't quite say it like that, but
Actually,
that's probably what it is.
it's that idea. What he actually said, we're not going.
Yeah.
Yeah, because essentially, there's, like Papa said, there's different layers of talent, and you could have a guy or a girl who has all this talent, and they're crazy talent. They just wake up and they don't have any trouble creating, but they will not be as successful as the person who has less talent, but they're out there really hustling. They go to the convention, they're calling editors, they're calling directors, they're really moving their feet to make it happen. And it doesn't matter how much talent you have, nobody knows that you're out there doing anything. It's useless.
I think it's important to have, I think the single solitary advice that, really hit me hard was the advice that to have an objective eye to your own art. In art, it's almost like a psychological game you're playing with yourself. On one hand, you want to beat yourself up for not being good enough, and on the other hand, you don't want to do it so much that you just give up. So on one hand, you're pumping yourself up. Yeah, the greatest thing ever. Look at this skull I'm drawing. On the other side, you're the best skull I've ever drawn in my life. It's a more brilliant skull. And on the other side, you're like, oh, that skull sucks. You really have to have an objective eye, and the reason why you want to have an objective eye on work is because once your own mistakes, unless you're objective about it, sometimes you're in a studio where you have a lot of people working with you, and they would go, hey, that arm is just trash. Right, ruin, and that sort of thing. But most times, a lot of times I'm worried about myself, and if I'm not objective, if I don't stop what I'm doing, walk away, come back, and look at something objective, and go, wow, what did I do with that eye, man? Fix things on my own, then you'll let those mistakes fly by. And I think also, if you're objective about your work, you'll know what to work on the next time. If you do a piece where you're like, man, my color theory on that's just, what is this orange doing with that? Because weird hue green or whatever. It's if you're not objective and if you're just going, wow, this stuff is awesome, then you'll never question why you're doing things badly or good. Yeah.
I think some of the best advice I ever got was that you are the only one who's ever actually looking out for yourself. And that you should not expect teachers, students, parents, or people at your company to have your best interest at heart. It's you who is pushing your career, and it's you who is driving yourself forward. So there are a number of people you can work with in your life who may claim to have your best interests at heart, but perhaps their business interest lies in using your talent, or not necessarily propelling you to where you need to be. So when you need to make decisions like, oh, this, my heart's not really in this anymore, I need to move to a different direction and take initiative there, then you're prepared to make them. Similarly, if you're in college and your professors are telling you, oh, well, this digital art thing is a load of crap, and real money is in learning to be good at watercolor, which is something I heard. Is Kat, you better learn how to use, take slides and use that non-photo blue. Then it's important to listen to what your gut says and to go out and seek opportunities yourself. Because when I was in college, I was just stymied at many turns. I was told, no, 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 you should pursue an internship until your senior year. No, we're not going to allow you to live on campus while you're interning. You need to go find somewhere else to live. No, you can't do this. No, you can't talk to these people. No, you can't sit in on these lessons. And I am someone who's fairly uncomfortable stepping out like that and treading new territory. And I consider myself a fairly introverted person who is scared of social interactions and the like. But I learned through necessity of survival and the like that no one else was going to take me and put me in this career. I had to go make the scary phone calls. I had to go ask the scary questions like, are you going to pay me for this? Those kind of questions, and they're terrifying to ask. They're utterly terrifying. But I think the second part of that advice that helped me just on a practical level is that I had a mentor take me aside and tell me that pretend you're not negotiating for yourself, pretend you're negotiating for a little sibling or someone you care about. And that allowed me to remove myself from the situation and just pretend I was advocating for someone else that I cared about and be like, well, I think they should be paid more. But it was really, I was advocating for me. And that helped me just on a practical level of just being able to pick up the phone and make those scary calls and that kind of thing and be able to do all of that.
That's a big thing. I mean, I'll say, as an intellectual property attorney, somebody who's working in the field, look, there is a massive amount of tension between corporate interests and the individual artist. As fans, what we really see, what we identify with is the artist, the person who's actually creating it. The negative on the backside is that, it's through a tunnel of corporate. And so it's, unless you get a chance to see that individual artist do their own individual work, you are seeing their work through somebody else's prism. So it's, whether it's the story or the artwork or whether the fans think, oh, that guy was getting paid millions of dollars. And I saw, I was walking through Target and I saw Spider-Man, and I said Spider-Man. I right past his arcade where it's like, yeah, no, this was really fun for hire. So having said that and saying that, as an attorney, I think the field that you guys are in is no different than music. It's always a clash of talented, creative people trying to be compensated properly. So, starting with you, because I am the only person on the panel I didn't ask questions.
That's true. And I talk really loud.
What keeps you all excited about the industry? What keeps you passionate about it? Because look, we've already heard it. It's a grind. You're gonna write. You're gonna draw. You're gonna burn your hand up, draw it one way or another. You gotta draw to be good. You have to draw. You have to draw to think. Draw to be happy. Draw when you need to relax. So I guess we can start with you. What keeps you passionate about being in this field and wanting to continue to do it?
Honestly, just the idea of it really excites me, and why I go ahead and I draw it myself. Just seeing so many different types of styles, and seeing so many creative ideas, or even having two people kind of merge to create something wonderful like a comic book. And the fact that you can never really replicate that. There's always something new, something different, something fascinating about it that still keeps me in it. Just from somebody's use of color, like back to the color theory what you're talking about, right down to the different styles when they're working with one writer versus another. It's just, but that's always been my passion since I was 3, drawing, because I would go burn through my tests, and then I had to keep quiet or else my Jamaican dad would come and yell at the teacher again. So then I go ahead and I draw along my tests and stuff like that and see if there's different ways I can do things, if I can make the heads bigger, or I can make the eyes bigger, or I can go ahead and I can just completely change my style altogether.
I'm just going to ask the franchise, because I will get a chance to use your nickname again during this game. So same thing, what keeps you excited and engaged and just because I mean, on top of being an artist, you're also a business owner. So there's you as an individual artist and there's you as, as a business person. What made this a field where you didn't just want to be an artist, you wanted to fully commit and have a business of your own as well?
The business aspect of it, I think, comes from my dad. He, when I was a little boy, I would draw Superman. I would love it. So when you would start making your own stories and doing your own thing, I was like, I just want to draw Superman. One day, you would want to draw your own stories, and I was like, you don't know, this is what I want to do. And then, I got older, and I'm just like, this is what I want to do. Oh my goodness. So I think he's just, he was a small business owner. So I think he just, through osmosis, he just put it in there. And, I just love being able to create. It's not even something I ever really quantify. I just do it. And I can't not do it. At sort of different points in my career where maybe things weren't going as well as I wanted. At one point I even got a sort of a regular job. And I think I lasted for a month before I was like, this is not for me. And I just had to get back to it. I can't really function unless I'm creating. And I realized, I guess when I was fairly young that I'd rather work for myself than to work for someone else. Which isn't to say if the opportunity came along that I wouldn't take it, but I wouldn't give up, my own personal projects. So it's just something I got to do. I just can't not do it.
How do I stay passionate about what I'm doing? I'm still trying to get to a point that I don't know if I'll ever reach because, you're never really satisfied with whatever you achieve. You kind of want more every single time. So, there's a point that I want to get to, but I'm sure once I get to that, I'm going to want something else. So that's kind of how I stay. My biggest fear is to be the person that used to do some of it. I don't want to be she used to draw, or she used to draw this stuff. That's my biggest fear. So I don't want to get stuck.
We have 5 minutes left, so no pressure. If you can say something absolutely awe-inspiring about continuing to be in this field and do it under about 2 minutes, without the questions, so no pressure.
I'm really excited that video games are starting to tell other different stories than they've been telling in the past. Yeah, I'd like to see other stories told other than the same story we've been seeing over and over again. And I feel like we're finally getting to a point where we're getting a larger audience and a larger engagement of different types of game developers, and I'm really excited to see that.
I mean, you something awesome like Bioshock Infinite DLC, something like that.
Awe-inspiring. Well, I think for all of you or for anyone who wants to do art, I represent case A, right? I just was not very talented. I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. And, I've been doing art for 20 years now because I just worked hard. And, let me rephrase that. I hate it when people say I work hard, all right? Because anyone can work hard. You can spin around in circles for, 30 for 30 days, a month, whatever. That's not going to get you anywhere. You need to work smart, and that's, every time you're drawing, I'm good at it. And what am I going to work on this time that I draw? When I touch this paper or this style to the screen, what am I working on that's going to better myself each and every time that you're working? And again, I started off on the stick figure end of the spectrum. I've been doing it for 20 years now, so it's possible.
I would say for me, it's just don't be afraid. Don't be afraid that your work isn't good enough to show. If you want to do art professionally, put your work out there, and let the people who are going to be purchasing your art or consuming your art, let them decide what they do and don't like. Don't worry about pleasing everyone. Just make sure that you're not afraid to put yourself out there and put your work out there and be seen.
There's no children in here, right? Okay. There's like a Jay-Z quote that always comes to mind, and it's, what they eat don't make you poop. If I can say that. So basically, it doesn't matter what, not that it doesn't matter, but if your family, if your friends, they're not with you on this vision, it's fine. They don't have to be. Just keep going. And this is something that you really, really want to do, and you can feel it. And you'll start to notice it when you get a job, and it's like you feel like you're dying a little bit on the inside. That's kind of trying to tell you something. I'm not saying quit all your jobs, but
Quit all your jobs.
Today.
A lesson in the comic.
Yeah, because you'll start to feel it. You'll know what it is, and that's the push. And just follow it, focus on it, and work on it. And work hard, but work smart. Because it's important to do what you want to do with this.
Everyone agree? I wish I had more time to talk to all of you. Our panelists have tables. Please come see them at their tables. They have awesome things. I bought something from everybody. Trying not to buy more stuff. I want my wife to go ahead and kill me. How about a hand for our wonderful panelists? My name is Armand. I'm with popcultureuncovered.com. We have a podcast, we have a website. Occasionally we're funny. Please check us out. Hope you guys have a good rest of the con. Thanks for attending. Appreciate it.
Table.